Some things Japan has come up with are so practical and clever that the moment you encounter them, you immediately wonder why the rest of the world hasn't done the same. Smart grocery baskets that scan every item as you place it in, so by the time you reach the checkout, your bill is already calculated. Bicycle escalators built into the side of stairways that carry your bike uphill alongside you without any effort. And fresh fruit vending machines dispensing bananas and other produce on the go for a quick, healthy snack wherever you are. Japan doesn't just fix daily frustrations, it eliminates them so completely that you only realize how annoying they were the moment you leave and have to go back to dealing with them the old way. Today, we're counting down 15 things in Japan that instantly fix daily frustrations. Watch until the end because number 15, night buses with fully enclosed capsule pod seats, shows how Japan turned one of the most uncomfortable travel experiences in the world into something you might actually look forward to. Number 1. Smart grocery baskets that scan as you shop. Japan developed smart shopping baskets with built-in scanning technology that reads every item as you place it inside, running a live total throughout your shop so that by the time you reach the checkout, every item has already been scanned and your bill is ready before you've put the basket down. You shop normally, the basket does the scanning. When you're finished, you confirm the total, pay, and leave. The checkout process takes seconds rather than minutes because the work was already done while you were still walking the aisles. The Panasonic-developed system removes the checkout queue from the shopping experience almost entirely. In a country where time efficiency is treated as a genuine priority rather than a nice-to-have, removing the longest and least enjoyable part of a supermarket visit is not a minor improvement. It's the difference between a task that fits into a lunch break and one that doesn't. Japan automated the most frustrating part of grocery shopping and built it into the basket. Number 2. Bicycle escalators for effortless uphill rides. Japan installs bicycle escalators alongside stairways in hilly urban areas, providing a narrow motorized channel built into the side of a staircase that carries a bicycle uphill automatically while the rider walks beside it holding the handlebars. You place your front wheel into the channel, press the activation button, and the escalator takes over. The bicycle moves up the incline at a steady pace, and you walk alongside it without pushing, pulling, or carrying any weight. At the top, you lift the wheel out and continue your journey. Cycling in a city with significant elevation changes is physically demanding enough that hills become genuine deterrents to using a bike as daily transport. The bicycle escalator removes that deterrent completely without requiring the rider to take a longer flat route or dismount and push. Japan built the infrastructure that makes cycling uphill effortless and treated the physical barrier of urban gradient as a solvable engineering problem rather than an accepted limitation of cycling in hilly cities. Number 3. Reusable silicone food covers. Japanese silicone food covers are flexible circular discs in multiple sizes that stretch over any container, bowl, plate, or cut fruit and seal tightly around the edge without clips, elastic, or any rigid frame holding them in position. You press the cover onto the surface, the silicone stretches to fit the shape below it, and the seal holds. It works on a bowl of leftovers, a halved avocado, a pot of sauce, an opened tin, or anything else that needs covering without a lid that fits it. They're washable, heat-proof, freezer-safe, and last for years without degrading. Every use replaces a sheet of cling film or a piece of foil that would otherwise have gone straight in the bin after a single application. Japan made a reusable cover that works on every container you own, rather than the specific containers it was designed for, and sold it as a practical kitchen product rather than an environmental statement. The convenience is the point. The waste reduction is the outcome. If you're enjoying this so far, go ahead and tap like. It tells YouTube you want more of Japan's clever, everyday innovations. And if you love discovering things you didn't even know existed, hit subscribe so you don't miss the rest of this list. Trust me, the next ones are even cooler. Number 4. Ukonmori book clip. The ukonmori is a Japanese book clip that sits over the top of an open paperback and holds both pages flat simultaneously, freeing both hands while reading without needing to grip the spine or fold the cover back. You slide the clip over the open pages from the top. It rests on the inner margins of both pages and applies just enough pressure to keep them flat, and the book stays open at the correct page without any further effort from the reader. Reading a paperback with one hand requires a grip that becomes uncomfortable within minutes. Reading with two hands means both are occupied. The ukonmori removes both problems with a small plastic clip that costs almost nothing and fits in a pocket. Japan identified one of the most persistent minor frustrations of reading a physical book and produced a dedicated solution for it. It's a product so specific to a single problem that it seems obvious the moment you see it and surprising that nobody made it sooner. Number 5. Spotlessly clean garbage trucks. Japanese garbage trucks are maintained to a cleanliness standard that makes them visually indistinguishable from any other municipal vehicle, with operators washing and wiping down the exterior of the vehicle after every collection round so that a truck that has spent the morning collecting household waste looks clean by the time it returns to the depot. The operators treat the vehicle's presentation as part of the job rather than incidental to it. The truck doesn't accumulate grime, residue, or odor on its exterior over time because the cleaning is continuous rather than periodic. It reflects the same standard applied to every other public-facing role in Japan. The work being unpleasant is not considered a reason for the presentation of the work to be unpleasant. The truck is part of the neighborhood it serves and is kept accordingly. Japan decided that a garbage truck maintained to a high visual standard communicates something about the people operating it and the community it serves. The trucks are clean because the standard demands it. Number 6. Wheelchair accessible escalators. Japan installs escalators with a wheelchair accessibility mode that converts a section of the moving staircase into a flat platform at the press of a button, allowing a wheelchair user to board the escalator at street level and travel between floors without needing to locate a separate lift or take a significantly longer accessible route. The platform section deploys from the escalator surface, creates a flat boarding area, and travels the full height of the escalator before the steps resume their standard configuration on the return. The system is integrated into standard escalator infrastructure rather than installed as a separate unit alongside it. For wheelchair users navigating transit hubs and commercial buildings where lifts are occupied, out of service, or positioned at the far end of a building, the accessible escalator provides a faster, more direct option at the point where the need actually is. Japan built accessibility into the infrastructure that everyone uses rather than routing wheelchair users to a separate facility, positioned as an afterthought. Number 7. Phone charging stations available everywhere. Japan installs phone charging stations in convenience stores, train stations, airports, shopping centers, restaurants, and public waiting areas, making a dead phone battery a temporary inconvenience rather than a problem that derails the rest of your day. The stations are available as wall-mounted multi-port units with cables for every connector type, as portable power bank rental networks where you borrow a battery from one location and return it anywhere on the network, and as individual charging lockers where you leave your phone secured while it charges. In a country where public transit navigation, payment, translation, and communication all run through a smartphone, a dead battery is not just an inconvenience. It removes access to the infrastructure that makes the city navigable. Japan treated phone charging as a public utility problem and distributed the solution across the entire commercial and transit network. The specific format varies by location. The outcome is the same everywhere. You don't run out of battery in Japan without a charging option being within reach. Number 8. Protective nets during grass cutting. When municipal grass cutting crews work in Japan along roadsides, parks, and public areas adjacent to pedestrian paths, at least one member of the team is designated specifically to hold a large protective net or shield between the cutting equipment and any passing pedestrians. The net intercepts cut grass, stones, and debris before they reach anyone walking nearby. The designated worker moves continuously as the cutting crew progresses, keeping the barrier positioned between the hazard and the public at all times throughout the operation. Grass cutting equipment propels debris at significant speed in unpredictable directions. The risk to pedestrians in the immediate vicinity is real, and in most countries managed with a cone and an expectation that people will walk around. Japan added a human with a net whose sole job during the operation is to ensure nothing reaches anyone passing. It costs nothing beyond the attention of one crew member. Japan decided that protecting the public during routine maintenance was worth that attention and built it into the process. Number 9. Kakusta Pen Case. The kakusta is a Japanese pen case that opens flat and transforms into a stand that holds the case itself upright on the desk, displaying its contents at an accessible angle while functioning simultaneously as a desktop organizer without requiring a separate pen holder. You unzip it, fold it open, and it stands. The pens, pencils, and tools inside are visible and accessible from above rather than buried at the bottom of a flat case you have to dig through. When you're done, you fold it flat and zip it closed. It removes the need for both a pen case and a pen holder by making the case perform both functions through a single fold. Desk space stays clear. The tools stay organized. The transition between packed and in use takes 2 seconds. Japan treated the pen case as a design problem with a smarter solution than a zip and a flat interior, and produced something that makes every standard pencil case feel like an earlier version of the same idea. Number 10. Fresh fruit vending machines. Japan operates fresh fruit vending machines stocked daily with individually portioned fruit, including bananas, oranges, apples, and seasonal varieties, positioned at train stations, office buildings, and high-traffic pedestrian areas as a healthy on-the-go option available at any hour. You select your fruit at the touchscreen, it's dispensed in a sealed protective wrapper, and you have a fresh piece of fruit for less than the cost of a convenience store snack. The machine is restocked daily, and the product is rotated to prevent anything past its best from being dispensed. Getting fresh fruit quickly in most cities means finding a supermarket during opening hours or paying a premium at a specialist juice bar. Japan put the fruit in a machine and positioned it where people already are during the times they're most likely to need a quick meal or snack. It's not a complicated solution, it's a stocked machine with a daily restock commitment and a product that most vending machine networks never considered putting inside one. Number 11. Beginner driver stickers for the first year. Japan requires all newly licensed drivers to display a Shoshinsha mark on their vehicle for the first year of driving. A green and yellow leaf-shaped sticker that signals to other road users that the driver behind the wheel is newly qualified and may need additional consideration. Other drivers are legally required to give Shoshinsha vehicles more space, avoid cutting them off, and exercise additional patience in situations where an experienced driver might push a gap. Failing to extend that consideration to a marked vehicle is a traffic offense. The system communicates something other road users have no way of knowing without it. A new driver looks identical to an experienced one from outside the vehicle. The sticker changes that and activates a legal obligation from everyone around them, rather than relying on goodwill. Japan built a protection mechanism into the licensing process that gives new drivers a year of structured road consideration while they develop experience. The sticker is cheap. The safety margin it creates is significant. Number 12. Heated eye masks for sleep and relaxation. Japan produces disposable heated eye masks that activate on contact with air and generate a consistent moist warmth across the eye area for approximately 20 minutes, providing targeted heat therapy for tired eyes and a sleep aid that requires no device, no charging, and no adjustment. You open the packet, unfold the mask, hook it over your ears, and within 30 seconds it's warm. The heat is gentle enough to be comfortable for the full duration and consistent enough to be genuinely therapeutic rather than simply warm. They're used on long flights to block light and relax the muscles around the eyes, before sleep to reduce tension headaches, and after extended screen time, when eye fatigue accumulates into discomfort that rest alone doesn't immediately resolve. Japan made targeted eye heat therapy available in a single-use format that fits in a jacket pocket, requires no setup, and starts working immediately. It's sold at every convenience store for a price that makes using one whenever you need it an entirely reasonable decision. Number 13. Japanese Magic Stain Remover. Japanese stain removers are enzyme-based formulas developed specifically for the stain types most common in daily life, applied directly to fabric before washing and consistently removing stains that have survived multiple standard wash cycles in other products without leaving a trace. The most recognized versions use concentrated enzyme blends that break down protein, oil, and pigment at a molecular level rather than bleaching the surface or masking the color. You apply a small amount directly to the stain, work it lightly into the fabric, and wash normally. Stains that have been washed and dried and were considered permanent respond to Japanese stain removers in ways that seem disproportionate to how straightforward the application is. Set in coffee, dried sauce, old grease. The enzyme formula doesn't distinguish between a fresh stain and one that's been through the dryer twice. Japan treated laundry chemistry as a precision product development problem and produced stain removers that make every other version on the shelf look like it stopped working at the easy ones. Number 14. Heated insoles that warm feet from inside. Japan produces battery-powered heated insoles that sit inside any shoe and warm the foot from below throughout the day, maintaining a consistent temperature that cold weather footwear alone cannot achieve regardless of how thick the sole is. You charge the insoles overnight, slide them into your shoes in the morning, and control the heat level through a small controller or a smartphone app. The warmth is immediate and consistent rather than building slowly as body heat accumulates in a standard insole. Cold feet are one of the most consistently uncomfortable aspects of winter in any climate with genuine cold. The standard solution is thicker socks, which reduce circulation and make shoes tighter without producing the same sustained warmth as a controlled heat source. Japan built the heat source into the insole, made it rechargeable, and sold it as a standard winter product, available at electronics retailers and convenience stores. The shoe is the same. The foot inside it is warm for the entire day, regardless of how cold the ground is. Number 15. Night buses with capsule pod seats. Japan's overnight bus network operates services with fully enclosed individual pod seats that replace the standard reclining chair with a private sleeping space, complete with a curtain, a lie-flat surface, a personal light, a power outlet, and enough enclosed space to sleep through a long overnight journey without the movement, noise, or proximity of other passengers affecting your rest. The pod seating turns an overnight bus from an endurance exercise into a genuinely viable alternative to a hotel night. You board, close the curtain, lie flat, and arrive at your destination having slept rather than having survived. The cost is a fraction of a train ticket for the same route and significantly less than a night's accommodation at either end of the journey. For budget travelers and regular inner-city commuters, the overnight pod bus removes the either-or choice between paying for transport and paying for somewhere to sleep. Japan looked at what makes overnight bus travel unpleasant, addressed every specific cause of it, and built a product that makes the overnight journey itself part of the value. If you want to see more amazing things Japan is doing better than the rest of the world, then like and subscribe. And make sure to watch the video on your end screen. It's packed with even more problem-fixing things.